This video will help explain how the main tree worksheet functions. It provides a general overview of the worksheet, its contents, how to navigate the tree, and how to use the input forms. See additional help videos for more Family TreeXcel options. To open the tree workbook, double-click on the file. This workbook uses macros and VBA, so if prompted, be sure to enable content in order for the workbook to function properly. If you got the file directly from Family TreeXcel, then you can be assured that the macros are safe. If it was acquired from a third party, then the safety of the macros cannot be confirmed. When first opened, you will begin on the tree worksheet page. This should be the only visible worksheet in the workbook. To avoid errors, never rename a worksheet. Use the tree and chart options to navigate between worksheets, and do not hide or unhide any worksheets manually. The tree worksheet is locked for direct editing. Therefore, you cannot type directly into the cells on this worksheet without getting an error prompt. All data entry should be done through the 5 input forms discussed later. Best efforts were made to handle any possible errors, but if you get a VBA error prompt, just select End and then retry the process. If the error persists, please email me. A blank tree workbook will only give you 2 options to begin. Import Gramps, which allows you to import tree data created from Gramps software, and Start, which brings up an input form to enter the first person in the tree. Once someone is entered or imported, then all the other tree options will become available. The tree worksheet will give you 20 options to select from, each of which is discussed in more detail later. To activate any of these options, you must double-click on that respective cell. The tree worksheet will show the following people: the primary person, highlighted in yellow, the primary person's spouses, children, father, and mother. All the options and relations will always be for the primary person, highlighted in yellow. The tree will show the following data: names, a person's unique ID number, a person's father's unique ID number, a person's mother's unique ID number, birth date and birth places, death date and death places, a person's age, either as of today or at their death, spouse details, child relations, and profile photos. You will see all the tree options at the top of the page or above their respective individuals. The primary person is always highlighted in yellow. You navigate the tree by making someone else the primary person. To do this, you can double-click on another person's name, double-click on another person's ID number. If you have multiple people with the same exact name, then you should always use the unique ID numbers to navigate. This way you can avoid selecting the wrong person. There is also 2 tree options to quickly navigate to a new primary person. The home person option, which will automatically make the designated home person the new primary person. The default home person is ID number 1. And the Find Person option, which will allow you to select a person in the tree by searching their name or ID number. Both of these options are explained in more detail in the Tree Options Help video. Data cannot be entered directly into the cells of the worksheet. To enter information for a person, you must use one of the input forms. There are 5 types of input forms in Family TreeXcel. One for a person's details, one for the person's father's details, one for a person's mother's details, one for a person's spouse's details, and one for a person's child details. There are 3 ways to open a person input form. On a blank tree, you double-click on Start. On a tree with people in it, you can double-click on Edit to update a person's details, or double-click on New to add another person to the tree who will by default not be connected to anyone else. To open a person's father's, mother's, spouse, or child's input form, double-click on that respective cell. The selected relation will be associated to the primary person highlighted in yellow. To cycle through the input form pages, you can click on the tabs at the top or click on the next and previous page arrows at the bottom. All the input forms can be moved freely. The min and max buttons can be used to minimize and maximize the workbook respectively. You can use the Tab key to cycle through the input fields and the Enter key to activate any buttons highlighted. In addition to a profile photo, all 5 input forms allow you to enter details for a person's name, birth, and death. Each input form also has a Save button, which adds the person and data to the tree, Clear button, which clears the input fields of the form, and a Cancel button, which closes the form without saving any data. Each input form will generate or reference an ID number for new and existing individuals respectively. This ID number is automatically calculated and is unique to each individual. It is used as their reference on all charts, reports, and indexes. To avoid errors, you are not allowed to modify this number. The relationship input forms also allow you to link existing tree members to the primary person and remove existing relationships. If a person has multiple spouses, then the spouse input form gives you the option to reorder them for display purposes on charts. Most input fields are self-explanatory based on their labels and nearby information. You can skip any fields you don't know, and you can edit this person at any time in the future. For uniformity, all data typed into the fields will be automatically capitalized. For calculations to work, you must use a month's numerical value for the birth and death dates input. As your tree grows, any previously entered names and places will be auto-filled into the input fields as you type to increase input speed. It's recommended that you use a state's common postal abbreviation for places to make fonts more legible and larger on charts. In order for birth country flags to populate on charts, the birth country input must match the flag file name exactly. The default file name for the United States is USA. See the flag file video for more details on this. You will find the user forms for adding parents, spouses, and children all follow the same layout and features, so building a tree will be easy once you get the hang of it.